me run with you tonight. I'll take you moonlight ride. There's someone I used to see, she don't give a damn for me. Let's get to the point, let's roll another joint. Radio loud, too long to be proud. You don't know how it feels. You don't know how it feels. You don't know how it feels. People come and people go. Some grow young, some grow cold. I woke up in between a memory and a dream. Let's get to the point, let's roll another joint. Let's head on down the road somewhere. I gotta go, and you don't know how it feels. No, you don't know how it feels. You don't know how it feels to be me. Still trying to beat the clock. Think of me what you will. I've got an orange zigzag to fill. Alright. Let me get to the point. Let's roll another joint. Let's get down the road someday. I gotta go, and you don't know how it feels. 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 No, you don't know how it feels.
What is going on, everybody? This is Isaac. I'm back here at the Shack for a special episode of Broke Down at the Shack. I got a couple of my good buddies and a guy I just met a while ago. We're going to do a John Petty tribute. Why not? He's to me, he's one of my biggest songwriting heroes. To me, I compare him, because I'm a big fan of all music, or all genres, but I compare him to Merle Haggard as far as rock and roll goes. Yeah. And, you know, Merle Haggard to me was my favorite singer-songwriter, and then I'm not saying Tom Petty was my favorite, but I compared him to Merle Haggard, which wasn't my favorite, because he was a true rock and roll singer-songwriter, and you can hear him at any bar, but you can hear him at any honky-tonk too. He's one of those guys that,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the reason I agree with you, is because I know guys that, I mean,
I played in a punk band with a dude that was part of the first wave of punk, and he was a huge
Right.
Merle Haggard fan. He was also a huge Tom Petty fan. And they bridge the gap, man.
Right.
The songwriters, you know.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's one of those, like I said, he's one of those cats. You can hear him in almost any genre bar. Even if you wanted to, I'm sure there are blues bands that have done Tom Petty tunes. Why? Because, you know, to me, blues, you know, not trying to go off the subject, blues is a singer-songwriter. A lot, you know, a lot of singer-songwriter. And Tom Petty, on top of him being a rock star, in the 80s, a video star, but he was a songwriter. Number one. Made the hits.
You go see them live, man. Like you see 2.5 hours of hits, but you also see them play Muddy Waters and
sure.
Lightning Hopkins. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
Did any of you guys see Tom Petty live?
I never had. But by the way, real
I
quick,
did.
let's start with you.
I never saw him.
A gentleman I just met a while ago. How's it going, Mr. Luke LaGrange? What a cool name. I dig that.
Fantastic.
My boy, all the way back in the college days. That's right, we went to college at one time. You can believe that.
Not just for the girls and drugs. Actual trying to learn something.
One of my best friends of all time, and I mean that for real. He always has been. Well, since we got back in touch again, because it's been a whole minute. My best friends of all time, one of them, Mr. Darryl. You might know him as Darryl Ray. I know him as Darryl. All the cool folks do.
Derail is what happens when I drink.
Hey,
Darryl is a normal guy. When you start hearing somebody saying derail's on stage, and it's time to put the alcohol
That's
away.
the Jekyll to you.
Yeah, that's the Jekyll to my Hyde, exactly.
And I say this wholeheartedly. I've said it many times, but one of my favorite songwriters, not here in Central Texas, but of all time. I really do think this cat has a lot. But he's up there to me. I compare him with cats, just like I just said. Even like guys like Steve Earle, he'll be humble and say no, but in my preference, what I like, he's one of those cats that's up there. My boy, John Dempsy. What's up, baby?
thank you, brother.
Teach me kicks outside. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Very
I love
poorly
it.
with poor balance and coordination, but yes.
The cowboy boots in the hat. See what I'm saying?
It almost looked like we were filming a Chuck Norris movie in the backyard.
Because of the boots and the hat, right?
Exactly.
You should have got that for sure. That was pure gold.
You were talking about what's that?
This is the Heartbreaker, by the way. I just picked this up.
It's a good-looking hat.
yesterday.
It is. I love it.
From Standard, but
What is that?
it's I'm just calling it the Heartbreaker. I mean, it's an open road, but I'm calling it the Heartbreaker.
I love it, bro. How is it right now? It's expecting to be felt cowboy hat season, anyways.
Yeah, I just wear them anyway, though.
I hear you. Felt in the summertime too.
I mean, I sweat a lot. But
Yeah.
but you were
And so you should. They suit you well.
it's
You wear it well.
It's hot. Yeah. Thanks, man.
you were talking about you saw Tom Petty or
No, I
Just
never.
ask me,
I
Mary.
never got to see him.
neither
so
did
I
neither have
can't.
I.
And I was just talking about that with a friend of mine like a week ago.
Yeah.
On the top of my bucket list of, artists that I haven't seen. I was like,
Right.
man, I got to get Tom Petty soon.
See,
It's getting to that time nowadays with as many people have been dropping here lately. If it comes into your mind, hey, I'm going to put this guy on my bucket list.
Right.
know.
Go see him then.
I know it,
Before,
I know.
don't wait a week because you'll be going to a funeral instead of a concert.
I don't go to concerts. It's been rare. The last one was a Governor Mule concert.
right on.
More than 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. But here in the near future, my buddy Sam bought me tickets to go see Los Lobos. I've always wanted to go see those cats. Great
Right on.
singer-songwriters as well.
For sure.
Those cats can hit all genres, but also they had that sound because they also grew up. You can tell they're not that I've seen. I'm sure they're growing up listening to Tom Petty.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are songwriters and they play damn near the same genre.
Well, I mean, even though he's got such
That's a bunch of Mexicans from Cali doing Tom Petty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's got I still say got because he's still going to be popular for the rest of our lives anyway. One of the most recognizable voices in music. But a lot of his songs that he did were just open, what you were talking about with seeing different bands playing them and stuff like that, left a lot of openness to, you could take a Tom Petty song and pretty much play it in any style.
And
A lot of interpretation left in there, but still, it never really nailed it down to, specifically this song has to be played like this, or this song has to be done by this, this
Right.
group or whatever like that. That's the sign of a good song right there.
For
If
sure.
you can play it in 3 or 4 different styles, or if you can sit down and play it acoustically and it sounds good, that's a great song.
what I liked about him is that he has what not too many people have. Another one who I think has it is John Fogerty, but they're able to write a cool rock song with less to none overdrive.
Yeah.
Maybe the lead guitar does, but Tom Petty's playing pretty much clean.
Yeah, dude.
Playing rock and roll, rocking just as hard as the next dude.
You wrecked me. Like, that's a perfect example, dude. That
Right.
tune, the only overdrive on the whole tune is when Mike Campbell plays his lead.
That's it.
All of the guitars are clean
Right?
on that song.
And
that song, I mean, the Ramones could have covered it and not had more intensity.
That's right.
You know?
I agree.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
There was just few enough lyrics that the Ramones could have pulled it off.
Right.
John, what was your first time you heard? Oh, tell me, the first time you heard Tom Petty, was it a video or was it a song or what do you remember about that?
It was the entire Wildflowers album. But I was like 11 or 12.
Were you already playing guitar already?
Yeah, I was playing guitar, but we were actually going to our Little League All-Star team was going to San Antonio for the missions, man, the San Antonio missions.
Oh wow!
We were going to we were going to a baseball camp that they were doing.
Okay, cool.
So the coach that I was riding with, he turned on Wildflowers, and all the guys were talking about, you know, tell my age, but you know, Frank Thomas was doing this, and Ken Griffey Jr. was on his way out, and you know, all this stuff. And Tom Petty came on the stereo, and I couldn't hear anything else, you know.
Right.
And then, man, if it wasn't
what were you listening to before that?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say,
Yeah.
man. If it wasn't Nirvana, or like the Nixons, or Pearl Jam, or Merle Haggard,
Right.
it was nothing, you know. I didn't.
I hear
And
you.
then, you know, there was the stuff like I told you last time we had a chat or whatever. Like, you know, my dad listened to the Everly Brothers, and
Okay.
you know, so stuff like that.
That
So
was good stuff.
so Tom Petty made so much sense because of the rich harmonies, because of the harmonic spectrum that they used, that the Everly Brothers and cats like that did with two guitars and their vocals, you know.
No, for sure.
But it made sense to me, you know. And it's
Same thing as they were talking about the Ramones. They really didn't have a whole lot of overdrive.
no,
They just
were
had they just
loud
cranked
and
down.
fast,
That was it.
man. Yeah,
That
it was
was
loud
it.
and fast.
I guess maybe it could have been the era, but you know, he even did it into the '80s. The first time I heard about him was a song that not a lot of people talk about or cover. Is like "You Got Lucky."
Oh, that's my
Yeah,
favorite
man.
one. That's the one that turned
I
me
love
on.
that song. Me too. I remember the video.
Found you.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And the guitar tone.
That vibrato. There's just that
Oh,
vibrato. Just.
And the video he was kicking over video games. I guess saying how that's gonna die. You know.
Well, I think they had made that just like shortly after like the original. You know, what was it with Mel Gibson and stuff like that? Where the
Oh really?
you know, it's about that time when they
Yeah,
had
yeah.
everybody was talking about the apocalyptic stuff and everything like that. And that was their whole
Mad
thing. They were,
Max.
yeah, Mad Max and the Road Warrior and stuff
That's
like
where
that.
it was like. It was a lot like the Road Warrior stuff.
Yeah.
How about you? What was your first one?
That was what
Was
you,
it?
know, you
Wow.
got lucky. That one, you know, and Stop Dragging My Heart Around. I love that one.
That's a good one.
You know, but You Got Lucky was probably. I mean, I'm might be the oldest one in here besides Isaac. You know, I was a young pup in the early '80s and stuff like that. I didn't really get into a lot of music until about the mid '80s.
Okay.
You know, so about that time was I started going
You know,
back
me
and
too.
listening to a lot of
Me
stuff.
too.
I didn't pick up a guitar until I was probably in my early teens, and I did it. You
Me
know,
too.
just
Same
from watching,
thing, yeah.
just watching parents and uncles and
Me
stuff
too.
like
I
that sitting
wanted to be
around
a ball
playing.
player.
But they were, you know, I grew up, of course, Mahay and stuff like that. So that was a lot of backyards, back porches and stuff, playing a lot of Merle and.
Okay.
You know, and,
Sure. Everybody starts off like that. Even me. You'd think it'd be Tejano or something like that, but it really wasn't. It was the Glenn Campbell and George Strait for sure. But you know, because I was a kid, I really didn't know music then. And then when I started liking rock and stuff, I saw this local rock band playing, and I thought that was cool. And but anyway, it was a lot of the hair metal stuff, you know.
Yeah,
But then he was able to rock with those dudes too.
yeah.
How about you?
I still get tickled when people, you know, they come in and they see me at Aces or whatever, or wherever I'm at, and they're like, "Man, I want to put some songs on the jukebox, and you mind if I play some country?" I'm like, "If you play some country, you play some old country. Don't
There you
play."
go,
You know,
there
I'm
you
about
go.
sick of Tennessee whiskey. And,
Yeah.
you
How
know.
about you, bro?
Yeah. What's the question again?
The first time,
I got lost
you heard Tom Petty.
Oh, the first time.
You'll find plenty of tangents in here, brother.
Oh,
yeah,
for
I
sure.
got lost. I was floating through the stratosphere there. In a good way, though. Man, I tell you, I don't remember exactly the first time that I heard Tom Petty, but I can tell you when I got into him was probably right around the time you were talking about, John. It was just before the Wildflowers album came out, which is one of my favorite albums of all time, for sure.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like I said, he's not one of my favorites. I just know the hits. But what songs were on Wildflower?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. So, do you guys remember back in the day of CDs?
Oh yes.
And they had that like CD
Oh,
club,
that's compact
right,
disc. You mean?
where they send it to send the thing and it's got all the stamps, right? And then you pick out like you sign up for like one, you buy one CD and then you get 10
and never
free.
talk to him again.
Yeah, then you just cancel it. You never have, and you get all these CDs for free. Well, so I was
Great
just
system, man.
yeah, no. So I went on there and I was like, I got everybody's greatest hits you could think of. I'm like all the
Did
people
it really
who
work? How
all the
much did
people
you
who
really pay?
you buy like one CD. That's it.
I think it was like $1.29, but
Yeah,
mine was
so
cassettes
super
when I
cheap.
did it.
But anyways, I didn't even catch you off, but I do.
No, it's cool.
I was wondering if that really works. I never did it.
It did. So I went and picked out all the greatest hits albums of everyone I'd ever heard of. And I'm like, I knew they were cool, but I didn't know their music. So I got like Joplin's greatest hits and Bob Marley's greatest hits
Right.
and of course Tom Petty and
Damn,
the Heartbreakers' greatest
you
hits,
went
right?
straight that type of genre.
Oh yeah, I was all rock and everything. But anyway, so I listened to that Tom Petty's greatest hits. I was like, dude, this shit is awesome.
Oh, for sure.
And not too long after that was when the Wildflowers album came out, and I was like, man, I got to buy it. And I can tell you that was like the main CD in my rotation,
Yeah.
when you had that like big, thick 120 CD binder case in your car.
Right.
And
Wait, I still have one of those.
yeah, and like, but the first page, was the ones that you always play, like
Right,
every
right.
fourth CD, and that was right on the front page, man. It was the one
Wow.
that I always went back to. And you can listen to every song. That's probably one of the first albums I got where I could listen front to back, no problem, without having to skip.
You know any Tom Petty stuff?
I do.
Let's do one.
I do.
Then we'll get to some originals here a little bit.
I'll do one off that.
Since we're already
that
talking about it. Hey, cuz, cut.
Hey,
number.
watch your cable in there.
Oh,
Pull that tripod over.
no, not. Cuz, turn number 2 down.
Well, it's time to move on. It's time to get going. What lies ahead, I got no way of knowing. But under my feet, babe, the grass is growing. It's time to move on. It's time to get going. Broken skyline, moving through the airport. She's not as defector, conscientious objector, our own protector. Well, broken skyline, which way to love land? Which way to something better? Which way to forgiveness? Which way do I go? Well, it's time to move on. It's time to get going. What lies ahead, I got no way of knowing. Under my feet, babe, the grass is growing. Well, it's time to move on. It's time to get going. Well, sometime later I'll get in the words wrong, wasting the meaning and losing the line. Tonight is drilling a line, breaking up a dog fight. Deer the headlight, frozen in real time. I'm losing my mind. Well, it's time to move on. It's time to get going. What lies ahead, I got no way of knowing. Under my feet, baby, the grass is growing. Well, it's time to move on, time to get going. Well, it's time to move on, time to get going. What lies ahead, I got no way of going. But under my feet, baby, the grass is growing. It's time to move on, time to get going. One more time, go. Well, it's time to move on, it's time to get going. What lies ahead, I got no way of knowing. But under my feet, babe, the grass is growing. It's time to move on, it's time to get going.
I do not know that song, as you can tell, but it's a great song, man. I dig it. I've never heard it before. Like I said, I'm not a big Tom Petty fan.
That sounded pretty close.
I mean, it's not like I know his catalog, but he's you know, I said one of my heroes for sure, but never heard that.
Yeah, it's Wildflowers. Might be the first song.
I think it'd be real.
Second. I don't know.
It's no, I don't remember either. Wildflowers is first though.
Dude, that's and like I said, you can just do it, even just like we're just doing right now, acoustic. You know, just that right there. You just tell that's a good song. You can play whatever genre, whatever situation you're in.
Okay.
You can play that even if you're a cheesy wedding singer to a guy playing a dance hall or a guy playing a bar or a club. You know, it's just one of those songs. You know, for sure. How about you?
This is kind of making me want to go back and revisit its catalog, man. because
Right.
I've never heard that song.
And I will. I'm sure right now it's just been hit hard. Everybody like, dude, I need to check that out. You know, that's the way it happens. But you know, well deserved. Like I said, one of those cats.
Well, did you ever? I mean, I want to say I'm right, but he was a member of the Traveling Wilburys, wasn't he?
Oh yes, dude, what a great band that
Traveling
was.
Wilburys and Mudcrutch too. That's where like the Heartbreakers came from. It was a band called Mudcrutch. They were touring, like they did a tour last year.
Right.
But yeah, dude, the Wilburys, man.
That was like Orbison and him.
Yes, Bob Dylan.
The dude with the big hair from ELO.
Jeff Lynne. Yeah,
that was great. I don't know what that dude was. The name.
Elvis Costello.
Was he in there?
Yep.
Wow,
Traveling
dude,
Wilburys, man.
Talk
Everybody.
about an all-star.
Yeah, it was an all-star band, dude.
Jeez,
Was it one of the singer for ELO or something like
Yeah,
that?
the dude with the big
That's
hair.
yeah, that's Jeff Lynne.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
his name. I don't know his name. Just know
I
that.
couldn't either.
So-
I just remembered the band.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Jeff Lynne, right, is like what's the tune? On Full Moon Fever, man. You're so bad. Best thing I ever had in a world gone mad. You're so bad. Right, but it does that. You're so bad. Best thing I ever had. Like all that rhythmic stuff was all Jeff Lynne. He's the reason that we have that with the Heartbreakers.
I wonder how many cats that weren't there at that. Well, I guess like you guys. Well, you were kind of there. You were just a kid because I was a youngin' when that came out. I wonder how many guys that are playing right now that either had got into that album late or you know what I'm saying? How hard it hit them because that album hit me hard. It's like, dude. As a singer-songwriter, these guys are just knocking it out the park, hit after hit, dude. That was just a great album, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, Tom Petty was in the middle of all that stuff.
Across the board, dude.
Oh, for sure. How about you, D-Roy? You been doing any songwriting?
Man, I try and, I used to set a goal for myself to at least once a week sit down and write a full page of lyrics, even if it's just nonsense. You know, just to
everybody's had that same thing.
You know,
that
but I'm still at the school and mindset. I keep a pad and a pen by my bed because
that's good.
You know what? There's how many times you woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning? It's like you got this line, and you just wakes you up from the middle of nothing, and it's like I've got to get this down on something. I used to do that.
Have you ever done that? It's like, dude, I got to get this down. And the next morning, you hear it's like, dude, that was horrible.
Oh, I used to piss my piss my wife off
really?
left and right because I'd wake up. You know, there's an acoustic and an electric in my bedroom at all times. And I'd wake up 3 o'clock in the morning and grab the guitar. And, what the hell are you doing? I got to get this. I got to figure out this melody. Mm-hmm. It's stuck in my head. I might not get it recorded, but if at least I write it down or I play it physically,
right,
it'll stick around. And some of the stuff that I've done over the years like that has ended up being my best stuff. When I sit down and force myself to do something, I can still come up with something, but it's never going to be just like that spur of the moment.
That's right, how you're feeling right there.
Yeah.
Man. Have you done this? Have you dreamt this song? Because I've done it once. Dreamt a song. So it was, I guess you were so into it that you knew the lyrics, and you didn't have to write them down. And you tell yourself, if I go to sleep and wake up and I remember them, that's a hit. I mean, that's something that's going to work.
Yeah.
And have it do that work for you because it has for me.
Yeah, I mean,
don't have to write the lyrics down. But
I've never had a moment where I didn't have to write the lyrics down.
That happens, bro.
I got to document that in some way, shape, or
It
form.
happens. I don't know how, but it happens for me.
But that's the trap I run into with songwriting a lot too. I've got one song that I wrote like 7 or 8 years ago, and I finally wrote the second verse like last year.
Right.
It's been sitting there for that long, and it's like I could force myself. I was like, I'm going to try and write this second verse, and it's like, no, can't do it. And then it just finally, I gave up on it, put the song in the back of the notebook, and it's like, boom.
When it's right, and when it decides you're ready.
Yeah. A lot of times the muse kind of leads you the way, but it's got to decide if he wants to make it to paper.
Just got to put it on a shelf and let it marinate.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's hear one, bro. A Darryl special. I love all your songs, bro.
I never commit anything to memory. That's how lazy I am.
And your kids are playing right, or at least one of them is playing right, or a couple.
I've got out of the 5 kiddos I've got around my house, I've got 2 that are actually working on stuff, and they, of course, he won't come to me with a song. He's like, I got something. It's like, okay, well, show it to. No, it's not time. So it's like I'm gonna just book some time.
His dad is Darryl.
I'm just going to book some time over here at the shack sometime and just bring him in and say,
holler at me whenever.
You're going to do it. You're going to lay something down. So
I'm going to start recording bands again, folks. Why? Because I'll be having time now. I've been blessed with a good job, so I got cool hours. Anyway, I'll be recording bands again. Anyway, let's do one, Darryl. Turn number 2 down, cuz. That's just what. I tell you what. That's fine. What keys is in?
I don't ever get any noise out of this thing. I don't know what it is.
If I can follow you.
I see a lot of chords there. You played it with me before. It's like, G, A7, and a C.
Okay, let's see if we can do that. You got that, JD?
I'd hate to be the one to say I told you so, even though folks have to. But you're the one who carries on like I don't exist. So it's come to this, and here's the truth. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and at times it seems a bit absurd. Hold on till the bitter end. We both say a basically pretend that neither one was doing wrong. That the spark inside is all but gone. I love you till the stars burn out. I'll stay north while you head south. that long to choose a side, wrong or right, so no one wins. When all was said and done, I think the line was drawn and trampled on. We can't protect. That a picture's worth 1,000 words, and at times it seems a bit absurd. I hold on till the bitter end. We both save face and we pretend that neither one was doing wrong. That the spark inside is all but gone. I love you till the stars burn out. I'll stay north while you head south. Chorus one more time. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and at times it seems a bit absurd. I hold on till the bitter end. We both take face and we pretend that neither one was doing wrong. That the spark inside is all but gone. I love you till the stars burn out. I'll stay north while you head south.
I dig that. What a great tune. You can just do that for all day long, bro.
Hell yeah.
You do that one live?
Yeah. Well, when I do the stuff, you know, when I occasionally get my butt out of gear and go do something somewhere, I try and sneak in. I don't have a whole lot of originals that are. I mean, I've got a lot of them, but just a handful that are actually worth a damn.
You never know. You never know, bro. Might even dust some of them off, you know.
Well, whenever I do the acoustic shows, like when I do the
Where do you
karaoke / open mic
Where
thing.
where do you do them at?
Well, when I do it, I'll do it over at Aces. Like I'll do karaoke, and then I'll have 2 guitars and 2 mics sitting up there, and I'll invite all my friends out. It's like, hey, sign up, and if you want to sing a karaoke song, cool. If not, grab a guitar. I mean, Spicer shows up, and JD showed up. Spicer showed up last Saturday, and he felt so bad. He's like, he grabbed my guitar. He's like, I don't want to play one, and he got ready to do dive bar, and like 2 strums into it, snapped a string on the guitar. I was like, all right, I'm down to 1 now.
Wow.
And he felt bad until I told him the strings were like 1.5 years old. He's like, oh, well, I don't feel so bad now.
That dude's a crazy songwriter, dude. He can like, he'll write a song and you perform it that night. I was like, dude, that's,
Yeah.
I can't do that, you know.
Well, I mean,
But I'm not a singer, but you know, that'd be hard to do. It's like, but sometimes you can knock it out the park. It just sounds so good. Or that's where you also got to learn how to. I guess where you really got to figure out how to really learn the song. Sometimes too, you know,
yeah.
putting yourself in the spot. Let's see what it molds into.
I
Sometimes
never lock
it's
myself
shit.
into any, you know, I never pigeonhole anybody. I wouldn't expect, you know, walk up and see Luke and go, okay, yeah, this is what I know you're going to sound like. Or I know you're going to play these
Right.
type of songs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Never
okay,
met you
so-
before, but I would never put that preconceived notion in mind. Because you might have some punk shit, you know, that I've never heard. Just throw it, tear it up, you know. But I love that. I love getting a chance, and that's the bad thing is, you know, I don't get out enough to go see all the local artists. Man, I'd love to go to Lakeside and catch a show with, you know, with whoever's playing there that night. I think Justin's got like 5 different bands that plays out there every once in a while. And I think you play out there a lot with the standards, right, John?
I've gone out there and I've gone out there and jammed with them a couple of times, but I'm not like a member, man. But yeah, they're out there every other Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, I'd like to personally start going to more shows and supporting you guys and stuff like that, because especially if you do a lot of originals. I know you've got tons of originals, and you
You still at the backyard? Where you
Yeah, I
doing,
do a
man?
lot of originals.
What?
Yeah, for sure.
You still do that one at the backyard?
Oh, the open mic?
Yeah.
on Tuesdays.
Yeah, on Tuesdays.
I've never gone to that, dude. I need to check that out one time. I just don't usually go out.
It's fun, man. There's some great pickers that come out. There's some great songwriters that come out. There's this one cat, Omero. I can't remember his last name, but seems like literally every week he has a new song that he's written.
Well, one of those dudes.
Yeah, man, and they're always great. You know, So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You still doing it with Jonah May?
No, she's not doing it anymore.
Oh, really? So just you by yourself,
it's
or what?
me and Josh Garner.
Nice. I see he's
cool.
playing Mac Daddy's this week too.
Yeah,
Saturday, I
on
think.
Saturday. Yeah.
That's right. Also, Steve Darryl. May I have some backing music, Mr. JD?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Please.
yeah. My bad.
Another. Also a great guitar player. One of those cats who just does all that stuff and produces and writes and sings and all that stuff. And then he's got cool hair. That's just ridiculous. All right.
It's not fair.
Clint Slate at Terry's Tavern Friday night. Where's Terry's Tavern?
It's like off of 11th and LaSalle.
Okay, cool.
If you sneeze when you're driving back, you're gonna miss it.
Is it all
It's
genre?
about the size of this place.
Well, I guess is it all genre or mainly just rock or have country too? Or
I don't think Terry's really has a label other than just being a small little place.
Have you ever seen the kind of back porch stage that she has?
No, I did. I have heard that they did do that though.
It's great, man. Like I mean, it's the stage is bigger than the bar, but it's fantastic.
That's the way it
outside,
should be in Waco. The stage should.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to step up around here venues and start building some
Right.
better stages. Yep.
except for backyard, they're rocking it. Backyard rocks it. And also Jody, I bet you could probably use that back place for a band sometime.
Oh, out
Or
on the
not.
back patio?
Yeah, you know what? But it's kind of small though. You know what?
The only bad thing about that is that's the exit. You're coming out of the building. You'd have to walk through the
Right.
band to get to the
But
back.
then he's got it set up good,
Yard,
perfect
so-
over there. But Frank Exum with the Venus E at the Waco Winery in Austin on the Avenue, both Friday. And Spirits of Mars. Well, it was going to be at 8:11, but 8:11 closed.
I heard about that.
Yeah, you know, too bad, dude. That place. To me, it was awesome. It was CNR.
Oh yeah.
Something about that place. It was awesome. It was just like a family. When I went over to Rumors, we played there a couple of times. It just wasn't our thing, you know. And then I heard 811 got there. I could never get a hold of the owners, and then I guess they lasted a few months. Then you know, that's a cool place. Somebody please buy that place. Shotgun Laddie, Lot, Texas, for at the Purple Parrot Bar. 8ish. And who else? Another band of gypsies at Austin's on the Avenue Thursday night. Donnie Edwards said, my boy Donnie Edwards,
The big old bear.
the big old bear. He said Saturday at 8:11 Spirits of Mars. Oh, no, man.
And then he retracted
Glad-
that shortly thereafter. He said,
That's
"Never
right.
mind."
That's right. Let me see. Anyway, Max Carter. This guy's always busy.
I think Max plays like 8-9 nights a week.
I think he does. Tonight he's at a Hilton Inn in Temple. Tomorrow at Chupacabra Craft Beer in Salado, and Star Winery in Salado as well. Friday he will be at Fuzzy Tacos in Waco. Round Rock he will be at the Back Porch 1 to 4 and the Draft House 6 to 10. I guess that's Saturday as well. That dude's playing a lot.
Yeah, he's like 2-3
Three
gigs
times
in
in
a
one
day.
day.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. And those Roaches are playing a lot Friday night. I'm not sure what it is, but the whole town, I think, is going to be in the street or in the backyard somewhere, like some kind of a city thing. Should be fun. And where are you going to be at, bro?
Who in? What?
Where are you playing at next? John Dempsey. How about John Dempsey with the band? Where are you playing at next with that?
Oh,
Anything going like that? Are you and Ty them doing that thing over there Lakeside? You, Ty, and
Brett. Yeah, we're doing
Yes.
a trio thing. I'm just playing bass.
how's that coming?
Singing
How's that
harmonies.
coming
That's
along?
Fun, man.
What are y'all playing?
Lot of fun.
Country or rock or blues or
It's
everything?
no, it's all the stuff we always want to play. Like we're doing some Tom Petty tunes. We're doing
Cool.
play some John Mayer stuff off of Continuum.
That's what's up.
We're doing some Muddy Waters and some Stevie Ray and some. I mean, just like groovy, fun stuff. you
I
know?
love it.
Stuff that we don't ever get to play. So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
How about you, Mr. Luke? Where are you gonna be playing at, bro? You're a busy man. Is this something you do like all the time?
All the time.
I love that, bro.
But
I
I
love
can't.
it. I've heard your name.
Sometimes, all the time.
I've heard your name for a home minute. But then, I wasn't sure if you're a Waco guy,
Yeah, so
or a guy passing through town that plays here a lot.
I lived in Waco for a few years. I lived in Waco from I guess 2010 through like the end of 2012, and I met a lot of cool people here and made a lot of good friends. And
That's what I'm saying. I dig your
it's just
style,
a real
bro.
cool
I dig your
music
voice.
scene,
I dig your guitar playing.
So at that time was when I
Sounds
really
good.
started getting out and playing, a lot. And
Right.
so yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't want to say home away from home because I'm kind of a gypsy. I'm from Dallas, but I live in South Austin currently. But
That's what's up.
I've been all up and down 30,
How's
35.
how's
so.
the songwriter scene right now in Austin? Because it's not
I couldn't tell
the
you.
6th Street
I don't spend-
that we'd hope it'd be.
Yeah, I don't
in the
spend a
80s.
lot of
It's
I don't
not
spend a
that
lot of
anymore.
time there, so I couldn't really tell you.
I got you.
I try to go see shows, but it's usually just old friends of mine who are doing their thing now.
I got you. What's the thing
but
right now?
there's some good. There's good songwriters everywhere you go.
What's the thing right now in Austin? Like the music right now? Is it club stuff or?
You're asking the wrong person. I have no idea.
I got you.
Who knows what the kids listen to these days, man? I don't even.
Well, what do you listen to right now?
EDM mixed with bluegrass, probably something like that.
Is that what you listen to right now? Or?
Yeah, that's my main. That's my main jam these days. Yeah.
Really? I don't know. I mean, I don't listen to anybody, so I don't know what's
Listen to a lot of Daft Punk and Modest Mouse.
Daft Punk. I like Daft Punk.
No. What are you jamming to like right now?
Right now, I've been listening to a lot of John Mayer, who you just mentioned.
That's what's up. Another great singer-songwriter, different.
Incredible. Yeah.
But you know what? He's one of those cats that, he was cookie cutter at the very beginning, but not cookie cutter, excuse me, like kind of girlish, but it was rocking though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought his guitar playing was nuts.
I tried to hate him real bad.
Oh,
I tried
dude.
real bad to hate him.
It's like, I keep
even
getting to play
that
guitar
first
like that
record, man.
and writes, get out of here. Get out of
Early
here.
on, I did too, man. I
It's
kind
not
of went
even
with
just
the crowd and
technical.
tried to.
Yeah.
But now that I go back and listen to all that stuff, man,
Well, it's not even
He's-
technical, man. There's soul in it. He's just a killer picker, man.
He's
How,
got
how
it
much
all.
bravado do you have to have your own band open up for your own band?
he's got it all for sure.
Like he has, when he does shows, he'll have a 3-piece or whatever band of him and a couple of cats, and then they'll come out and they'll switch to another band,
Yeah.
him and a bunch of guys, and then I think they did it 3 times on one concert.
Dude, he proves his skills.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff, different levels of his. Of
Did
his
y'all
songs and
see?
stuff.
Did y'all see him and Dave Chappelle doing their
Oh, yeah.
like crooning
No.
act? Have
Yeah.
y'all seen that?
No, I have
That
not.
was on the Chappelle show, I think.
Was it on the Chappelle
Yeah.
show? You got to
Yeah.
check that out. They're like they're, I mean, they're dressed like the Rat Pack. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
No, I
yes.
definitely have not seen that. That
hardcore.
sounds
like,
awesome.
Like
Dave Chappelle,
shades
he's my
on,
favorite one.
standing there with
Right now, my
whiskeys.
favorite for sure.
and
But,
just yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
I
It's
thought, he,
hilarious.
I thought he really proved himself because I had the first one with the Back to Your High School song, whatever that was. I had that album.
Yeah.
Was that the same one as Your Body Is a Wonderland? Because I had that album too.
I think so.
Was it anyway? But he was cool. You know what? Don't tell anybody. I jammed it, but I jammed it a couple of times. But it was good. He was a good singer songwriter. Different. Reason I heard about him because he was a deal that shut the lights down at Bonnaroo. That's a big deal. You know, a singer songwriter, young kid. I heard he just wrecked shop over there. So I bought his album. But he proved himself to me when he did that trio thing. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, this dude can play guitar too. That's ridiculous.
Pino Palladino and Steve
Right,
Gordon.
he had no big. He had a great rhythm section, but he didn't have another rhythm guitar player,
Right.
another keyboard player. It was
They didn't
just,
have anywhere to hide.
it was right there, and pulled it off.
Yeah, man.
Pulled it off.
Great.
Let's do one, JD.
I'm just gonna do Tom Petty songs tonight.
Whatever you want to do, bro.
Dig it.
I'm not an emotional wreck. I'm just an emotional wreck.
I want to hear an original from you here in a minute, bro. Actually, a couple of them.
I used to live in a 2-room apartment, neighbors knocking on my wall. Times are hard, I don't want to knock it, I don't miss it much at all. Oh yeah, I'm alright, I just feel a little lonely tonight. I'm okay most of the time, I just feel a little lonely tonight. I used to need your love so badly, and I came to live with it. Lately I get a faraway feeling, then
and the whole thing starts again. Oh yeah, I'm alright. Just feel a little lonely tonight. Listen, I'm okay most of the time. I just feel a little lonely tonight. So this is another Jeff Lynne thing, right? I used to need your love so badly, and I came to live with it. Lately I get a faraway feeling, and the whole thing starts again. Oh yeah, I'm alright. I just feel a little lonely tonight. Listen, I'm okay most of the time. I just feel a little lonely tonight. Oh hell yeah, I'm alright. Just feel a little lonely tonight. Listen, I'm okay, darling, most of the time. I just feel a little lonely tonight. Lonely tonight. Lonely tonight. Hey, lonely tonight.
Yeah. I dig that, bro. Everything you
love
write
that
is
song,
awesome,
man.
dude. That is what's up. I dig that. I dig that.
It was so good.
You play that one live? You play that live?
Man, I do every once in a while.
How old is
But-
that one off of his
It's
material?
Full Moon Fever.
Full Moon Fever.
Yeah, it's on Full Moon Fever. That's the same one as, it's just, I mean, you can name them all, man. Like, Zombie Zoo's on there, and the one I was talking about earlier, the Jeff Lynne thing, man. You're so bad.
Yeah.
There's so many good tunes on there.
Right. I do. You're a great
Free Fall-
songwriter too, dude.
Free Fallin' was on Full Moon Fever, I think.
I'm not sure.
I think Free Fallin' was.
Was it? Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know.
I'm gonna look.
Google that shit.
Check it out.
How about you, bro? You do a lot of original stuff whenever you play. What's your
Yeah,
set
definitely.
list like?
Definitely. I mean,
What's your night
yeah,
like?
it just depends on the night. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, you know how it is.
You gotta read the crowd.
Yeah, you know, if I got 3 hours to kill, you know, I got song swapping with somebody, then I'm throwing some covers in there for sure. But
Where you? What
I
you
just play when I do covers, man. I play what I like. I mean,
That's what's up.
unless people really, you know, yeah,
You
throw
know,
a 20 in there and
you know-
request Hotel California or
You
something.
know,
Amazing how quick that'll change your song selection, isn't it? Yeah.
You're like, huh? Like,
That's-
oh yeah,
that's
yeah, I
what a
know
good
that.
song does. You know,
Depends on their
my
attitude
boy-
too when they request
my
it.
boy,
Yeah, for
to
sure.
me,
Attitude is everything.
my boy Chris Cornell used to do that shit to rock songs, bro.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God, I
Another
love
great
Chris
singer
Cornell.
songwriter.
I mean,
An acoustic guitar and just tear it up.
Yeah.
I grew up a rocker, man. I didn't really get into country until later on. I mean,
What were you listening
I
to?
was when I was learning guitar, man. I was jamming power chords to Nirvana,
Oh
and
yeah,
Green Day in my bedroom,
I
and then also like discovering who the hell Jimi Hendrix was, and
Right.
you know the blues. I used to love the blues, and you know I'm not.
Which blues were you? I know I agree with
I
you.
mean, yeah, I was listening to Jimmy and Clapton, just
Oh,
the greats,
yes,
you know what
yes.
I mean, and Stevie Ray.
Yeah, you know,
obviously.
a lot of the blues. Everybody calls jazz snobs. You know what the blues snobs too.
Nah, I think
A
when
lot of
you're-
the blues guys like that think you don't know your history. You know about you don't know this and this blues dude. It's like, you know I don't. I grew up with the guys, the standards like Muddy Waters,
Right,
a
B.B.
couple of the
King.
Kings. Yeah, him
Yeah,
and
my
Albert.
parents listened
But
to
main
B.B.
was Ray
King,
Vaughan.
too.
Main was Ray Vaughan. But you know what? I consider Ray Vaughan. I really consider him blues. He was our era blues. But you know,
And he was a
blues.
standard, but he also played all those tunes. Like even if that's happened to me so many times, man. Like you get on stage with cats and they're like, you know, do you know such and such by this cat? Man, I don't. What key is it in? Is it 12 bar? Is it 12/8? Is it
Right,
like
right.
what kind of feel is it? And then they get into it, and you're like, oh yeah, Jimmy played this, or oh yeah, Stevie played this.
For sure. Yeah,
You know?
everything was
Right.
all recycled through. And so, I mean, hell, I remember that Zeppelin was one of my favorites too back when I was in high
Hell
school.
yeah.
Oh, for sure,
Getting
bro.
into
Still,
smoking
and they wrote, you
but
know.
those guys recycle like When the Levee Breaks is one of my all-time favorites.
Oh,
Zeppelin
dude.
And
tunes.
Lemon Song, yeah.
Yeah, and those are just old.
One of my-
They did a
recycled
lot of
blues
lightning
tunes.
stuff.
One of my favorite songs
They
about
just put their own kind of little trippy,
Oh, yeah.
deal on top of it.
one of my favorite songs, but the worst song to drive to as an ex-truck driver is Kashmir.
Oh, man.
Geez, that song will hypnotize you.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're outside. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's been 30 minutes already. Dang. Let's do one, bro.
All right, sure.
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Oh, let the sun beat down upon my face. I think I'm gonna stick with some more Petty too.
Not trying to change. Well, not trying to get off this, but you really think they ripped off? I guess they did. Did they rip off any of that stuff? I myself think they may have borrowed to songs that were just weren't cutting it, but they dug it and they made it cool.
I think
I
it was actually Einstein who said, "Good artists borrow and great artists
agree.
steal."
You know who else said that at one point was Tom Petty. I think, I actually think like Mozart or somebody said it too.
Nobody knows.
It's been around a while, but
Scholars
it's
have
true.
debated
To
it
me,
for
as
centuries.
a Led Zeppelin fan, I really don't care. To me, Page and Plant and you know, what's his name? Bonham and John Paul Jones.
Yeah.
I think they wrote those songs in my heart.
Rocket Vulture.
The way they did it. So
All right.
I mean the way their approach. You know what I'm saying?
It's good to be a kid, just for a while. Either velvet, yeah, to give 'em a smile. It's good to get high, never come down. It's good to be a kid of your own little town. It's good to be a king, have your own world. It helps to make friends. Yeah, it's good to be a girl, a sweet little queen who can't run away. It's good to be a king, whatever it takes. Well, the world will swing. Oh, and I'll be king. Excuse me if I still dream time to time. Good to be king, have your own way, get a feeling of peace at the end of the day. When the bulldog barks, your canary sings, you're out there with wings. Yeah, it's good to be king. Well, the world will swing. Oh, and I'll be king. Can I help it if I have some place in my mind where I go time to time?
that, bro. That was awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do that live a lot?
I do. Yeah, I play that.
Man, I dig somebody that puts the stuff to work.
Hey, can I show you something real quick?
Yes.
So Sammy asked me this question one time. He asked me on that first album that we did. Like, man, how did y'all get those tones, and how did you think of those tensions, and like, what, you know? And so, can I show you something real quick?
Yes.
It was on that tune, actually. This is like the basis of me playing lead guitar. Like, so it's will you play the rhythm for me?
Yeah. What's your bad?
Nice, I like that, bro.
He just.
Yeah, I like it. It's just nasty with it.
That's it, baby.
Yeah.
But he bends those notes, man. And he makes you wait for it to get there.
Right.
You know?
That's
and
the best.
Anyway,
That's
it
the
was
best.
that tune that started that for me, man. That like having that tension there.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Oh, that's the best. Dude, you know, he has that guitar playing for sure.
Sorry, man. I'm so excited about talking about Tom Petty.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is fun.
people that
I
give a
know,
damn.
bro. I think, you know, and
Yeah,
like,
thank you
like
guys
I
for
said,
having me out here, man. This is
Cool,
a good
bro.
time.
Man, thank you for coming.
Matter of fact, do y'all know
Thanks
each
for
other at
having me.
all?
Yeah.
Do y'all know each other?
We've all met once or twice.
Except for you, I don't know you.
Coming and going.
So you know Mr. D-Rail
JD.
right here?
Hi there.
You know Mr. D-Rail right here?
We've met. Yeah.
One of the best frontmen, and it's not something that he just learned last year or 2 years ago. He's been rocking it, stage presence since.
Isaac's been
since
saying
I-
that for years, and I've
since,
yet to believe him.
Since the '90s, bro. I was, because I was from the country, bro, and we just didn't have, we didn't see that like a frontman. We saw a band in the bar. To me, I didn't play a whole lot. I played a lot at church. So that's just something we saw on television. Somebody rocking the mic, and this dude's rocking the mic, the hair and everything.
Well, see,
Everything. Where'd you learn that from? Because dude, it's
to be
like
honest,
it come natural.
I like when other people are having fun. I don't really care what kind of mood I'm in. If somebody's having fun, you know, if you're a musician, especially if you're doing cover bands and stuff like that, like I've done for years, because, be honest, you got to eat, so that's where the money's at. You know, you find somebody that's not having fun, you make them have fun. You know, and if you can get a couple of people in the audience on your side and get them to having fun, it doesn't matter how bad you suck, you're gonna have a good night. And it's like that give and take thing. You're giving off energy, they're taking it, they're giving you back energy, and it just makes it more fun. I have never considered myself to be a good singer.
Dude, I've had people tell me,
And I'm not. But what I am is I'm good at communicating with people and making them feel like, hey, you know, why is the mic in my face? Oh shit, the mic's in my face. I'm gonna have some, you know, I'm gonna sing this song and have some fun and buy some shots. And
it was natural for you, dude. We had times when we played with Guilty Pleasure, just to maybe a tenth of it was probably the band. A lot of it was Buckle had a lot of. I was a lower man, told him most part bringing people. Buckle brought some people. Cody brought a lot of people, but most of them were here to see D-Rail. That's the way it was, you know. And it showed whenever you called it quits. It showed immediately.
well, it's because they knew that they were going to get to have fun. You know, I had
That's
friends that
right.
they didn't come to the show. They came because we were friends. It wasn't because the music was good. It's because they knew they were going to have a good time. They were going to have fun. Friends like Mary Griffin. You know, I love that girl to death.
Right.
She used to come to the shows all the time, and she still comes out. She
She's
supports
a part of
Roaches.
MACT now, right?
She supports a lot of people, but you know, she knew that she's going to go to a Guilty show. She's going to get drunk, and she's going to get up there and sing Guns N' Roses with me.
I've had people.
Amen.
I've had people tell me that that was the most active CNR was when we held that at that one time during Guilty Pleasure era.
Mm-hmm.
People would say that was the only time it would really pack up. And we had them. At one time it was like that was a pretty big place. I heard there were, at one time for some event, I think it was Halloween, people were waiting outside because they couldn't get in. And I was CNR, not that. It wasn't that small. It was a pretty good sized place.
I think capacity in there was a little over 200. So
A lot of it, we just used rocking that front man position. That was it. Let's
you
do
are
it.
beyond kind to
Yeah,
me,
let's
sir.
do one.
He's
Let's
not
hit-
lying. You're not lying to me.
Well, In that case, let's do a Petty Town. Let's do Running Down a Dream.
Let's do it. Oh, okay. Let's see if I can remember that riff.
That's a good one.
I think I got it. That was that. And whenever we play the Guilty Pleasure, I tried to play, stuff kind of rocked out. It was, really sometimes over the top with the overdrive. But when it comes to a couple of things, this was one of them. I didn't like using a lot of overdrive because he didn't use a lot of overdrive.
See, I love going and seeing bands that
I have respect for that cat.
It's a double-sided coin, man. I love seeing bands that put in the work and are spot-on performers to where it sounds like you're listening to the actual band doing the song or something like that. But I've always been more of a fan of the bands that put their own flavor on it, or
yes.
they're not 100% spot on with it. It's weird. I don't know. I like it when somebody else is doing.
I agree.
Doing their version of it.
For sure.
Having fun.
For sure. If you don't believe me, listen to about maybe 60 to 70% of the people that do Folsom Prison.
As a karaoke DJ,
I don't mind. I love all versions of it. But I'm just saying that's you can go like that. But what are we doing?
Do it. Run it down.
So there we go.
Day, the sun beat down. I had the radio on. I was driving. The trees went by. And me and Mel were singing a little runaway. I was fighting. Yeah, I'm running down the street. Yeah, come to me. Working on mystery, going wherever it leads, running down the street. Felt so good, like anything was possible. I hit cruise control, love my life. The last 3 days. All the rain was unstoppable. It was always cold. No sunshine. Yeah, running down the street. Come to me. Working on mystery. Going wherever it leads. Running down the street. Oh, 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 I rolled on, the sky grew dark. I put the pedal down to make up some time. And there's something good waiting down this road. I'm picking up whatever is mine. Yeah, I'm running down the street. Never would come to me. Working on a mystery. Going wherever it leads. Running down the street. Yeah, I'm running down the street. Never would come to me. Working on a mystery. Going wherever it leads. Running down the street.
somebody, I played that forever.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I looked
killed
over
that
at John
song,
after we
man.
were doing that second on the chorus. It's like, that's the one thing that used to throw Guilty off all the time. It's like we got to stare at each other. It's like, remember, it does the chorus twice at the end of the song. Don't turn around and go into that outro just yet.
It always feels like it's already done it twice.
Like, you know what's cool about that tune? Of course, all the Tom Petty tunes to me is almost the same thing as AC/DC. They only have a couple of chords, but they're rocking it. And so if you're learning how to play guitar, you can rock that stuff before you rock a bunch of other tunes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you can play whatever.
Oh, Jimmy K's favorite
only
song.
in tune.
Yeah.
Only
Jimmy
in tune.
K's favorite song. Yeah.
But
Last Man.
you know, but you can rock that. You know what I'm saying? As a guy, new guy wanting to learn the same thing was, of course, you can do any Haggard tune. Of course, that's country gets easy, but you know what? AC/DC does that too. You know, 3 riffs and they're writing a song. Hit.
Yeah.
Hit. Because at the end of the day, those 3 chords and the truth.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? At the very end of the day, that's the truth. Whenever if anybody writing songs, especially anybody that's new to writing songs, I've always thinking that melodies has a lot. It depends what you want to do. If you want to be a lyricist, that's cool. But I guess as a guitar player, a good melody is what catches me every time.
Right. Well, Luke, what comes first for you when you're writing? I mean, do you like have music first, or you got words, or is it like kind of go hand in hand, or?
Yeah, it could go either way, really. I mean, sometimes it starts off with I'm just jamming the guitar, maybe got a cool riff. Sometimes it starts off with just a melody, kind of in my head, and I build around that. But yeah, more often than not, I think it starts with just a solid kind of idea or a hook or something, and then anytime I'm jamming around on guitar, if I come up with a cool little lick or something I like or a rhythm, I'll just record it and just leave it there, and then
like you said earlier, let it marinate.
Yeah, let it marinate, and then I'm like, I think that might match up with that, but I don't know, man. For me, usually it all kind of comes together.
Have you ever done it where you just sit down and you force yourself, like you pick a subject or something, like, I'm going to write a song about a blue truck? Or, just something random, just to see if you can force yourself to be creative.
Yeah, I've done like a lot of some object writing. I do that every morning for like the first 10 minutes of my day when I wake up. Just like pick a random object and just
That's what's up.
set a timer for 10 minutes
that's
and you just kind of
crazy.
write about
Really?
it. Yeah, just like sensory stuff,
That's cool, man.
And ideas come from that. I just started doing it like a month ago, but it's
trial and
helped
error.
a lot.
I mean, I should trial and error. Was it something like the spur of the moment? So you know what, I'm going to try this, or was it something you thought about?
That idea? I just read about it.
I was going to say, that sounds like
a
something.
lot of songwriters. It's like a
I know Russian, but
it's a pretty cool little project. But I've done some stuff where people like give you a. I was actually in a buddy of mine signed me up for this songwriting competition one time, and they like 24 hours before the deal, they gave you like a keyword or a topic or whatever.
Wow,
yeah, and then you had a 1 full day to write a song about it.
Wow.
And so that was pretty neat. So yeah,
where was this
I've
at?
done stuff like that. What's that?
Where was this at?
That was in that was at Leavenworth, Texas, up in Plano.
So was that an actual location? Or?
It's cool, yeah. It's a cool place.
Well, so what was the competition like?
It was, it was more of just like kind of a songwriters round, and they threw that in there.
I'm sure you saw some skills over there, though.
Yeah, there was one other guy who was pretty good.
It was a competition between you and one other guy. The rest of them were just spectators.
I mean, everybody. There was some originality going down. It was cool. It was like 6 songwriters, and we each had everybody played like 2 originals, and then at the end it was hosted by one of the local radio stations.
That's pretty cool, dude.
But it was fun. I mean,
to practice on your chops for sure.
Yeah,
practice on your chops for sure. That happens,
And you never know. Sometimes those are the coolest songs. I mean, you try and get
I don't know what it's like right now in Nashville, but back in the day, it was literally a good singer-songwriter / thesaurus king, because they were spitting songs out like crazy.
Oh yeah,
spitting songs out. Now it's gotten to where there's a few big names, and there's a bunch of songwriters there for sure in Nashville, but like the big names. But back in the day, it was like a bunch of songwriters, and they were all house people. They were just like a house writers.
You had like basically just companies that's all they did was sit there and write lyrics or write melodies all day long.
That's correct. I'm sure you ran to the word. I'm sure you got tired of singing the all the time or whatever, any kind of words. You had to come, you had to become like a thesaurus king.
What about you, John? Same kind of question.
Is it guitar first or melody first? I mean, or lyrics first? Because you're all three, bro. Guitar player, singer, songwriter.
It's probably 50-50. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes it is like just playing something on the guitar, and I sit there and go, well, that doesn't sound enough like Waymore's Blues for anybody to know.
All right, I hear you. Are you still thinking that still?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do. Like, I always find a derivative. I always find you know what I mean?
Right.
A source for where a lick comes from or something. And I'm like, oh, and sometimes it's a year later, but I'm like, that's where that came from. You know? But when it's lyrics first, it's always weird. Like you were saying.
I
like,
guess so. For me, it would be weird because I'm not a.
I woke up one time and
I like songs. What?
I woke up one time and I sang the song like that. I didn't write it down. I turned on my voice recorder on my phone.
Just rocked it, freestyle.
And played it because I'd already written it
off
in
the
my
dome.
dream. Because it was there. You know what I mean? And yeah, just.
Has there been one that stuck?
That one did.
Let's hear it.
I'm kind of the same way like that too. With whenever a lot of times I'll be in the car when I come up with a song idea.
Yeah.
I'll sing it and I'll have the whole melody down and
the phone.
I'll have
especially
a verse
when you've been
chorus
sing right into it.
before
You'll need a pen and paper like Mr. Darryl over here.
Yeah, I think
Darryl's still old school's it.
Especially when you're headed home from like the fourth day. You know what I mean? The fourth, headed home from the fourth gig. You know what I mean? Or the week.
It's Sunday night. You've played Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you're coming home Sunday. Yeah.
And you had a benefit at 11 on Sunday, and then a show that night.
Oh yeah.
That's
because we
man,
love
when you're
playing
singing in the car and
benefits.
you're like, oh man! And then you start singing it, and then
like half of it's written in your head before you. For me,
Yeah,
I was like, I
you
gotta go figure
gotta
this
get
out
it
on
out.
guitar because I have a
Get
half
it
a song
down,
written in my head.
When I was driving the truck, one time, dude, I was delivering tires a lot, and man, I was really getting down. But I was going. It was before cell phones were big, so it was one of those small, long, small tape recorders.
Oh yeah.
And I was rocking that,
answer
dude.
machine tape.
Just I was rocking as much as I could. It's like you don't want to miss out on anything because I missed out on so much.
Yeah.
But when I preached this before, but when cell phones came out, dude, as a songwriter, bro, that's essential. The phone, I mean, you can sing right there and bam. At least you don't have to go home. It's like, man, I hope I got the melody right. Or did the melody go like this?
I can't really stand using my phone like that anymore because I can't find a decent app that's not going to crash everything
Just
else
any
on my
voice
phone.
recorder.
So I want to go back old school and get me another one of those just a little handheld
You
digital recorder.
want to have one of those big old
Like
Tascam
30
4
bucks
tracks.
or whatever. Oh man,
carrying around on your shoulder.
I can remember back.
The 58. You gotta have the microphone there.
I can remember back in my day, back when I had like 2 cassette players, the little ones about the size of this, and you actually had to push down to record and play and stuff like that. Look up in your grandparents' garage, you'll probably find one. And you'd
I
have one of
recorded my
those.
first song on a Fisher Price
Oh hell yeah!
plastic one.
Hell
Wow.
yeah. Well, you record like you've got one part. I used to do it old school. Like I'd have one recorder here, record something, then I'd hit playback, and I'd have another recorder over here. So I'm recording what's playing here plus what I'm doing live.
Wow.
No microphones or
Smart.
anything else like that. And then you do it enough times, you take that tape out that's got these 2 parts, put it over here, fresh tape, that, and just bounce it back and forth until you've done like 4 or 5 layers on top of it. It sounds like muddy shit.
I was
but
never
it's
good
there.
at any of that stuff. Thank God for Pro Tools.
That's so. Those tape recorders that you're talking about, like the Stones, right?
Yeah.
Like on on Exile on Main Street, or was it Sticky Fingers? It may have been both of them anyway. But that's literally like
Right.
Keith Richards with
That guitar
with
tone.
an acoustic guitar in front of that tape deck, and the thing slammed all the way up, and
Oh, wow.
it's an acoustic guitar. There's no electric guitars on that
Wow, that's crazy.
stuff. Yeah,
Those
tape
guys,
recorders, man.
those guys, I guess, man, of course Led Zeppelin was number 1. But, I mean, I'm thinking those guys were number 2 for me as far as like original OG singers, or not just singers,
Well, if you go
songwriters,
back
I mean,
and-
rock stars.
Yeah.
I get a lot of enjoyment reading autobiographies about musicians and stuff like that. So I've read Johnny Cash's autobiography and Nikki Sixx
Good.
and and stuff like that. But my favorite one that I've read so far was Keith Richards, when I read his autobiography, and just some of the shit that they went through and stuff like that. And I think it was Exile, when they were doing that album, they were like, had a house rented or something like that, and they would go downstairs and record, and that they almost killed each other over that.
It was Keith's house. It was Keith Richards' house.
Yeah.
They said the heroin bill was more than the album.
Some of the stuff that they used to get away with is just ridiculous. But the old school recording, I still would like to see how some of those cats used to do that stuff with, like, the Beach Boys, how they would get this enormous sound,
man,
and
stereo.
the California sound, that wall of sound, and and the Muscle Shoals studio and stuff like that.
Well, the way Led Zeppelin did their thing with that in the house.
Oh yeah, when you want the drums to be louder, hit them harder. That's basically was the engineering.
But boy, those natural reverbs in there, I mean, that you just hear the levee breaks. That's the whole part of the song when the levee breaks.
Yeah.
Is that intro? Man, get out of here!
Because I think they had the microphones up in the ceiling or something like that.
Yeah,
of that
house
foyer.
or whatever.
It was like in the foyers where they had the drums set up.
Yeah.
So.
Man.
With like the huge staircase that went all the way up and all that.
That was part of the diffuser, probably.
Yeah, it was 30 feet away, man. The microphone was 30 feet away. It was a huge, tall room.
What was the name of that house? Because there was that manor. Because there was actually a band here in town that had that was part of their name, was the house where that album was recorded.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Manor where
I
it was
don't
recorded
know.
at. It's gonna drive me nuts. I'm gonna have to Google that when I get home.
I saw the way they recorded. I didn't. Well, I'm sure everybody's heard about it now, but when I first heard about it, I never thought about it like this. When I heard how Van Halen had got the reverb, it was like they were I forget what studio it was. It was a popular one, and they just got a speaker into a spare concrete room. That was like a storage room, but they didn't put a lot of stuff in there to affect the reverb, and it was just all concrete, just a spare room, and just cranked it up. That was your reverb, all that echo in there. And
For one of the guitar cabinet? Or are you talking about a speaker that was doing like playback of vocals?
Playing playback.
Oh, okay.
I guess it was a playback or during. I'm not sure, but it was being recorded in that room. That's what it was. It was being recorded in that room.
Yeah.
And through a playback, but he would blend that just right behind the guitar. Then you got the big brown sound right there. That, of course, with the Variac amp.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well, if you ever want to see something really cool about songwriting and stuff like that, I'm a huge Dave Grohl and Foo Fighters fan.
Oh, dude.
And there was a series that was on HBO not too long ago where he went and they were going from to different towns and visiting where those music styles came from, like Washington D.C. and New York and stuff like that. And they actually over the course of that series is where they recorded an album. When they got to that town, they sat down with some of the musicians that they were talking to from that area and wrote a song, and each of those songs wound up being on the album.
Wow!
I think it was Sound City or something like that was the name of the series.
That was great. That was
before Sound City, I think, because Sound City was like he bought the
bought that Neve console for $750,000, or I don't know how much he gave for it, but I remember seeing that part on there where they showed the original invoice of $750,000 for that Neve console.
What you're talking about though was before that HBO series. That was before that. That was when he was meeting up with all those cats from like Caius and stuff, and like Fugazi and all these staple bands from rock and roll. But anyway, yeah. I love that stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Dave Grohl's a musical.
Oh, dude, for sure. Also, he can do it acoustic too in rock. It's like I talked about.
I think people are probably going to start. Well, give it 20 plus years or whatever. People are going to view him and talk about him the way that we're, remembering and talking about Tom Petty.
I think
because he is a songwriter. Well, he's a rock star too, just like Tom Petty's. All of that.
Well,
they are.
When I say musical hero, I don't mean like a hero of mine. I mean like a hero of music.
That's
like
right.
Dave Grohl, man. Like
sure.
The same way Tom Petty stood up against labels and all this stuff for keeping the price of hard promises down. You know what I mean? Like that album came out and then ticket prices. Yeah. So they lost a lawsuit, same as Pearl Jam did with it wasn't Ticketmaster, but it was whoever Tom Petty, fought.
Right.
So he would go, like, up to and find the worst seat in the venue and get that person and bring him down and give him a backstage pass and let him be backstage. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he was a hero of music. Like he helped not only save but I mean, keep music alive, you know.
Dude,
And Dave Grohl does the same thing for sure.
One of my heroes at the time when I heard Tom Petty, and I do mean heroes because he's another guy just like Tom Petty. He hits that genre to where all genres, except for, of course, metal stuff, but rock bands, country bands can play him, was John Cougar. Because at one time when he came out in the 80s, at least, I know he's a little bit before, early 80s, whatever, but when he hit me in junior high, dude, I was just into songwriting. Because I started with songwriting before I started playing guitar.
And Johnny Cougar
But
was
dude,
late 70s.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I started hearing him during Pink Houses.
Oh, yeah.
And just the way he wrote and his whole the way he looked, I guess because I'm from the country, like a small town dude, rocking an acoustic guitar, but rocking it like on MTV, you know.
You could tell he didn't have soft hands, you know.
Right,
Like, you could tell
exactly,
he
bro.
worked, you know.
Exactly. He had the rolled up cigarettes, he had
Right.
the look, and they had the penny loafers with the white socks, which I rocked that too. I was proud. It was cool back in the day to be like John Cougar. But let's do one, bro.
I think it's
Is it your turn?
Yeah, you
Oh, that's
asked John about 20 minutes ago to play a song.
Oh, my bad.
We just kept talking.
an hour later.
I
We're
love
getting
that,
on that tangent thing we were talking
I
about.
love that though. That's because it's real to me. We're dudes that we're just singer songwriters, and what would you do if you put 4 singer songwriters together? And that's what this is. We're just talking shop.
I'd like to do a show like this again, but where we're sitting around a table eating or something like that.
I was gonna
Dude,
say,
you know what?
if you have a hamburger hiding in
I
the
started
Take
getting,
that
I
out.
started
Right.
getting, because I've been trying to get fit
Instead of
again.
McDonald's, they got free Wi-Fi.
So I've been wanting to do
Let's go.
maybe one day I'll bring some wine. I drink like a glass.
Wait
Maybe
till
once in a while.
February. Let me get off probation.
Okay, once in a while we'll do a wine and cheese one, and do some songwriting.
Cheese pizza.
I'll bring some damn selections.
Start looking like the live at Darryl's house where they sit down and.
I've never seen but one.
Dude, that's a cool show too. but-
I've seen with CeeLo Green.
Tangent warning. Let's go back to John.
All right.
So
So,
what are you gonna be playing here, bro?
you want me to play the one that's stuck from the dream?
Right.
Yes,
so-
that's right. That's right. That's right where we were at.
So this is oh damn, what's this song called? Troubles and Miles. That's what it's called.
We forgot the song already.
Yeah. So, but really, man, like I was sitting there and I had this dream, and I woke up and I just I played it. So, and that's the only time it's ever happened that completely. And it was just like the first verse and the chorus, and then I ended up writing the rest of it later that day.
That's what's up,
Yeah.
bro. Did you want to, or did you feel you had to?
I had to. I always have to.
Gotcha.
It's not. That's what I don't like.
I hear you.
Is that it's usually it's not a choice.
Is it hard? Do you settle for the second verse? Put it that way, or the last verse? Do you ever?
No.
It has to be
Can't.
out of the part. I hear
Yeah.
you. You got to. You got to. I don't want to just
And that's
squeeze
one
it
of
in
those
there
that I'll
just to
put
do
down.
it.
You know, like we were talking about. Like
Right.
if it's just there, and I'm like, no, I just wrote that so it would be there. No,
Yeah.
never
If you
mind. I'll
force
put
it,
this
you're
out.
going to hate it, and then
You're
you'll never
right.
enjoy playing it.
You are right. Exactly.
Searching through the radio for the echo between the ditches in my mind. Humming on this Route and 5 and hoping that it brings me back to life. Headlights blur and tracers fade, and the long throw of the low wine on the blacktop takes my mind. Humming on a melody that you sang to me when the day bound to the night. Oh, the feeling, troubles and the miles we left behind. And my reeling, roaring as the storm cut through the midnight. Picked up all our living dreams and scattered them east to west without a sound. Devil himself, his hands they shook when you looked me in the eye and stood your ground. I've been a liar and a rambler, and I ain't got no place to hide from the people again. I've been run down hard and walked on, and it made me weak, and that's a hard thing to admit. Shamed by endless loneliness, a broken heart and a mind that needed mending. The mended mind I was running from, it's getting there and facing my pretending. Oh, the feeling, the trouble and the miles we left behind us. My reeling, roaring as a storm cut through the midnight. All right, there you go. Troubles and the miles we left behind. My reeling, roaring as a storm cut through the midnight. Picked up all our living dreams, scattered them east or west without a sound. Devil himself, his hands they shook when he looked me in the eye. Stood your ground. Devil himself, his hands they shook when he looked me in the eye. Stood your ground.
Dude, I love that.
Right on.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's up, bro. That's
Thanks,
what's up. That's why I say you're one of my favorites, bro. Just I like your style. I like all of that stuff. And on top of that, to make things even worse, he can record like an SOB. He can produce some good music. If you ever hear any John Dempsey music, you will love it. I remember going to shows, and I used to love hearing. I had this ritual. I guess when I was playing honky tonks, I'd listen to Killing Floor, one of my favorite songs. Should have asked you to play that one. Maybe we'll go out with that one. One of my favorite songs. How did that song come about? That's deep tune.
Nick Dinnerton and I wrote that song, man. Honestly, man, I don't remember exactly how it came about, but I know that first line was a Townes Van Zandt thing, you know. I'm not detuned, but I got poison, valley high. I got love, it's a choking kind. That's
I love
Townes
that,
Van
bro.
Zandt, man.
That's
Like,
real.
Valley High is 20% wine, you know?
I got you.
And that's what he was drinking when he was learning all that Lightning Hawkins stuff.
Okay.
So he was like locked in an apartment.
I was
in the
never
dark,
a Townes
listening
Van
to-
Zandt guy, and I started listening to him a couple of times, but the last time, maybe 6 weeks ago, I really gave it a good chance. And not everything is a home run to me. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean I didn't respect the dude, because I know he's a lot of guys' heroes. Or not heroes, one of the guys.
A lot of the production of his stuff was weird, you know? But like you hear him play it live when it's just him and an acoustic.
Right.
And that's when you hear it.
Is that your songwriter, the main numero uno dude? Is that him, or who is that? Who would that be?
I mean,
Yeah, I got a couple of them. That's the thing, it's hard to get one.
yeah.
Let's say two.
Two?
Yeah. Or tell you what, let's push it to 3, and that's it. Top 3. It doesn't any order.
Towns, Merle Haggard, and Tom Petty.
Whoa, that's what's up.
Like it.
That I ain't mad at that. You know, mine is gonna sound very cheesy, but Tom Petty's also one of them. And it's either that or Merle or Billy Joe Shaver.
Yeah.
But I got it's hard. I don't know. I'll let them fight for it. But you know what? my third one is somewhere in the mix going to be John Fogerty.
Yeah.
That dude, like I said,
Right
is one
on.
of those guys that doesn't need a tube screamer.
Right.
Just an electric guitar and a twin, and then rocking it.
Yeah.
Good singer
Because he's
songwriter.
louder than the twin turned all the way
Yeah,
up.
that's right.
His voice is louder.
That's right, dude. If there were ever a voice that were an instrument, is that guy.
Yeah.
His voice is like bam. It's like a certain kind of tube screamer.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying? It's like something's cutting through that mix.
I still have dreams about John Fogerty and Bob Seger being in a band together and both.